Okay, it's working. Hello, students. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your science notebook. So if you didn't pick it up in the kits on Friday, make sure that you come and do that as soon as possible. Just come to the school and say that you didn't get your middle school kit yet. Each kit should have 2 comp books, composition books, and inside there they have graph paper. And graph paper looks like that. So, yeah, if you didn't get that yet, make sure you go and get that as soon as you can. We'll be using these notebooks all throughout the year. And why do we do that? In every science class that you take from here on out, you will use a science notebook. And we always do this because it helps keep our information organized. And it gives us one place where we have all of our drawings and all of our experiments. And a lot of scientists keep science notebooks. In fact, every scientist keeps a science notebook. Well, not every scientist, but scientists who study in college and everything like that, you'll have to keep a science notebook. So they do this so that other scientists can look at the notebook and repeat that same experiment. And if they can get the same results, then it makes it seem like, oh, they did it. They did a really good job, and maybe their results really mean something. And so, yeah, being able to repeat an experiment that somebody else wrote in their science notebook is really important. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is decorate our cover of our science notebook. So as you saw, my cover says Miss Hillock, and this is the book that I'm going to be using for 5th grade science, and I have a different notebook for all of the grades. So when you are decorating your cover, I want you to, of course, write your name, and I want you to have your first and last name. My first name's not Miss, but this is just my example. So I want to see your first and last name, and I need you to write your grade. So if you're in the 5th grade, you need to write 5th grade. If you're in the 6th, 7th, whatever, make sure you write your grade. Because I'm going to be receiving, at the end of the quarter, 140 of these notebooks. And if I don't know who you are or whose notebook this is, you aren't going to get any credit. So it's very important that you put your name and your grade. And also, just to have some fun, I want you to put some things that you like to do on your science notebook. So for me, I really like to travel. So there's a little plane there. There's some mountains. Oh, okay. It's really hard to line that up. So, yeah, we have mountains and a plane, and my name and my grade for this notebook. And then I really like to talk to people. I love people. I love making friends. So I drew some people, and I grew up riding horses. I love horses. And so I wanted to draw a picture of a horse. So you guys can draw something. You could decorate it in some other way. Maybe you have newspaper and you want to cut up the newspaper and throw it on your science notebook and glue it on. So I didn't even glue. I used staples. You can do staples, tape, glue, anything. Maybe if there's a magazine you like and you want to cut up the pictures and stick them on, like that's good too. Just make sure that your name and your grade are on there. Great. I think that's everything for the decorations. Okay, so we are going to look at how we're going to set up our science notebooks. So, when you open your science notebook, it should have something like this. And the first thing you're going to do is just write your name right here. And, so we want that there. And we want to make sure we have a table of contents. So how we're going to do that is we're going to jump down 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, and draw a line horizontally. And I also included these instructions in a written way online. So now we're going to jump down another line, do a horizontal line that way. So we have 2 lines. Now we are going to count 15 lines in. So I'm not going to count this one because you can barely see it, but I'm going to count this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to make a big line all the way down. So it's about halfway through, or it should be halfway through. Now we're going to count 5 more lines, and so notice how I made the line right here, but not up here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do another vertical line. Okay, now let's put in our labels. So this to be the table of contents. Lots of books have this what each chapter is about. So now we have the subject we'll put here, and the page number that we will find that subject, and the date. Okay, so we want to do the same thing 2 more times. So you want to do it 2 more times. So we're going to have it here and here, and it'll look exactly the same. So I will just do that right now with you guys. And you guys can be doing it in your notebooks while I do it in my notebook. And if you have a ruler, that's always good to use, but I just didn't have one handy yet. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15, and we draw a line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Okay. Table of contents. Subject. Page number. Can you guys still see? And date. And then you're going to do it one more time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm trying to stay on that line the best that I can, just so it looks neat, but it's not perfect. 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna write things. Table of contents, subject, page number, and date. Okay, now that we have our table of contents set, so how this is going to work, whenever you have an assignment that goes in your science notebook, you're going to write what the name of that assignment is, you'll say the page number, and then you'll write the date. And I'll show you how to do that when we have our first assignment. But for right now, we're just setting up our notebooks. So the next thing you're going to do, so we just did our table of contents. You have table of contents, table of contents. So your 3 pages of that. Then you're going to start here. So this is where you're going to write page 1 after the table of contents is page 1. And then 2, you're going to use those bottom corners. 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to go all the way till the book is done. And I will just pause it so you don't have to watch me do this whole thing. And you guys can pause the video and do this yourself. and get all the way to the very end. Okay, so when you're finished, you should have 55, 156, and 157. 157 be your last one. Good. So that is how you will set up your science notebook. Good job, guys. Okay, so now that you have set up your entire science notebook, I just needed to remind you guys, and this is in the syllabus as well, but at the end of the quarter, you will bring your science notebook back to school, back to Hojo, and I will have it so I can grade it, and it will be a part of your quarter grade. So it's very important that you follow and make sure that you're doing all the assignments that require using your science notebook. So if I'm giving a lecture, it will be common for me to say, okay, now write the definition of this in your science notebook. And so we will all have that definition written down. So during lecture, we'll be using our science notebooks. You might have to do a drawing, and there are a few drawings, really. And so, yeah, just make sure that you're always in tuned with when to use your science notebook. And I will make sure that I am also keeping my science notebook nice and neat so that you guys can see mine, and I'll show examples. So hopefully this is not a confusing thing at all. It should just be a nice place where all of the information that you learn can be kept. And the great thing about science notebooks is you can use them on your quizzes. So I would really work hard to write all of the information that you think is important so that you can use that on your quiz. So yeah, science notebooks are an important part of the class, and I'll need them at the end of the quarter. And that's all, guys.